Great honor and pleasure to welcome you to the 4th EAC Regional Science and Technology Innovation Conference here in Kigali. This conference was founded by IUCER and ESTECO in 2019 and has been jointly organized since then to provide a platform to reflect on our shared mandate and commitment to advancing science, technology, innovation as a cornerstone for regional integration, economic transformation, and sustainable development. Today, we are particularly honored by the presence of our chief guest and the presence of strong delegations, ministerial delegations from partner states. It's very rare to get a very strong delegation of ministers in the same house like this. We thank you very much for your coming here. This, however, underscores the strategic importance of the theme of this conference to the development agenda of our region. The theme of the conference is Harnessing Artificial Intelligence for a Resilient, Inclusive, and Innovative East Africa, comes at a defining moment. Distinguished delegates, across our region, there's a growing recognition that artificial intelligence is no longer a future concept. It is a present force shaping our economies, governance systems, societies, and more. As highlighted in the conference program in front of you, AI is already transforming sectors such as education, health, agriculture, finance, public service delivery, while also presenting new challenges that require coordinated regional responses. It is important also to recall that artificial intelligence has long existed within academia. For decades, universities elsewhere in the world have been centers of AI research, knowledge creation, and talent development. Its widespread societal impact was catalyzed in 2022 with the emergence of tools such as ChatGPT by OpenAI and more that emerged afterwards. This marked a turning point, bringing AI into everyday use and demonstrating its transformative potential across all sectors, including higher education. Recognizing this shift early on, IUCER convened its annual conference in June 2023 here in Kigali under the theme, The Future of Higher Education in the Age of AI and Data Science. This conference brought together higher education leaders and policymakers to reflect on the implementation of AI, implication of AI for higher education systems and labor market, and to ask for fundamental question. The question was, are our universities ready? That was in 2023. And the answer was very clear. Our universities were not yet adequately prepared to respond to the demands of AI era. To date, despite global momentum in advancing AI, our higher education institutions in the region still lag behind in effectively delivering AI-based education and research. Many universities face limitations, especially in skilled human resources, relevant curricula, and the required infrastructure for teaching and undertaking impactful research. This gap underscores the urgency for coordinated regional action to strengthen institutional capacity, modernize academic programs, and foster research and innovation ecosystem that are responsive to the demands of the AI era. In response to this reality, stakeholders at the IUCER conference in 2023 agreed on the need for a holistic approach to strengthen universities to enable them to deliver a future-ready AI-skilled workforce, to develop a future-ready AI-skilled workforce, undertake relevant and impactful research, and drive innovations aligned with regional needs. Since then, IUCER has deliberately taken steps towards contributing to strengthen our universities in the region. Some of the action that we have taken include developing harmonized guidelines on higher education data management, which is already in use in our institute, in our member universities. Training academic staff in the use of AI for teaching, learning, and research. This training is ongoing. We started first phase, first cohort, we'll go to second phase, and second cohort, and so on and so forth. Securing approval from IUCER Governing Board for the establishment of a regional center of excellence in AI for education and research, And we've contributed to the development of EAC AI Alliance along partners. And these partners are GIZ, Esteco, and the rest. In addition, through EAC AI Alliance, we have planned to develop the following activities or to implement them. We're planning to develop a foundational AI module. A foundational AI module to be integrated across all university programs within the community. Imagine every student who is going to university has to take a foundational AI course for them to proceed within the program. We are working on that one together with our partners through EAC AI Alliance. We are also planning to develop training pathways for lecturers to effectively deliver the foundational modules. But we are also planning to develop AI policy framework to guide institutions in the responsive use of AI. Through AI Alliance, we do a lot of other activities. I believe my colleague from Esteco will also mention some of them, including development of the strategy and EAC challenge, for which the winners will be awarded in this event here. Distinguished participants, this progress has been made possible through the continued support of EAC partner states. We appreciate the support, continued support we're receiving from the partner states, but also through strong strategic partnerships. In a very special way, before I leave this podium, Chief Guest, I particularly wish to acknowledge our long-standing and sustained collaboration with GIZ. We started 10 years ago with EAC Digital Skills Project, and now we are participating in implementing EAC AI Alliance project funded by the Federal Republic of Germany. Our collaborations also extend to UNESCO, ICE. ICE stands for International Center for Higher Education Innovation. The center is based in China. We have our close engagement with Esteco and invaluable contributions of experts from our member universities. Additional partners are UNESCO headquarters, I think they are represented here today, DAAD, JICA, Commonwealth of Learning, and Arizona State Universities. Together with these partners, we have in line a number of activities aligned into advancing AI in our region. These partnerships underscore the fact that building a robust and sustainable AI ecosystem requires coordinated collaboration across governments, academia, industry, and development. As I conclude, moving forward, this conference provides us with a unique opportunity to align our regional efforts, strengthen partnership, and define clear path forward for AI in East African community. As can be seen from the program you have, the conference brings together a diverse and strategic community, including policymakers, leaders, and researchers from academia, research institutions, private sector, innovators, youth, development partners, each playing a critical role in shaping our regional AI ecosystem. If we act collectively and strategically, we can harness AI not only as a tool for innovation, but also as a driver for inclusive growth, resilience, and regional transformation. IUSEA remains committed to working with all partners to ensure that our higher learning institutions are at the center of this transformation. I thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Let us appreciate Professor Rai. We've had the components of skill development, and before we call upon our second welcome remarks, I call upon my co-moderator to come closer here so that we can allow our speakers that side. Thank you, Dr. Fortunate. At this time, we invite our second speaker, who is the Executive Secretary of East Africa Science Technology Commission, and this is Dr. Sylvans Okoth. Dr. Okoth, karibu.
Thank you very much, the moderators. Okay. the guest of honor, Honorable Paula Ingabire, Minister of ICT and Innovation, the Republic of Rwanda, Honorable Chair of the East African Council of Ministers represented here, Honorable Ministers from partner states, representing various partner states as represented here, permanent principal and undersecretaries from EAC partner states, the Deputy Secretary General of East African Community here present, members of the diplomatic corps, esteemed partners, distinguished participants, members of the media, I hope I'm audible. Am I? Yes. Okay, thank you. Members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the East African Science and Technology Commission, ESTECO, and on my own behalf, I would like to say that it is my greatest honor and privilege to welcome you all to the 4th East African Science and Technology Regional Science and Technology Conference here in Kigali, Rwanda. I believe most of you have been here, but not for this conference, so it's a special occasion. This year's theme has been said by my predecessor, is harnessing artificial intelligence for a resilient, inclusive, and innovative East Africa. This theme reflects both the urgency and the promise of our time. Artificial intelligence is no longer a distant frontier. It is a present-day driver of transformation with the potential to revolutionize how we produce, how we learn, how we govern, and how we innovate. For the East African region in particular, artificial intelligence offers a powerful tool to accelerate economic growth, strengthen regional integration, and also address persistent development challenges that the region experiences. This conference is anchored in the broader vision of advancing science, technology, and innovation as a key enabler of sustainable development in the region. It builds on regional and continental frameworks, including the East African Community STI policy, which is a 10-year policy ending in 2033, the African Union Agenda 2063, and the Continental Artificial Intelligence Strategy, all of which emphasize the critical role of emerging technologies in driving Africa's transformation. Ladies and gentlemen, East Africa stands at a pivotal moment. While the region is experiencing growing digital adoption and a vibrant innovation ecosystem, challenges still remain with us. These challenges are many. I would enumerate a few.
Under the framework of the EAC AI Alliance. This network will serve as a distributive and collective platform of excellence, connecting universities, research institutions, and industries across partner states to jointly advance AI research, innovation, and talent development. However, honorable delegates, as we embrace these opportunities, we must confront the realities that define our region. These include limited technical capacity, fragmented infrastructure, gaps in research and innovation ecosystems, and the urgent need for robust governance and regulatory frameworks. If not addressed, these challenges risk widening the digital divide and limiting our ability to fully benefit from AI revolution. Honorable delegates, the EAC has placed science, technology, and innovation at the center of its regional development agenda. Through the EAC STI policy 2023-2033 and the 7 EAC development strategy, we have clearly articulated our commitment to leveraging emerging technologies, including AI, as key drivers of socio-economic transformation. In this regard, this conference is not only a mere forum for discussion. It is a platform for action. It provides us with the opportunity to strengthen regional collaboration in AI research, innovation, and infrastructure development, promote harmonized policies and regulatory frameworks for reasonable and responsible ethical AI, and build a skilled and future-ready workforce capable of driving AI adoption across all our sectors. Foster partnership between governments, academia, private sector, and development partners, and ensure that AI development in our region remains people-centered, inclusive, and aligned with our cultural values and development priorities. Honorable delegates, as we deliberate over the next few days, I urge all participants to engage actively, share knowledge openly, and work collaboratively towards practical and scalable solutions. Let's move beyond dialogue to defining clear, actionable pathways that will guide the region in harnessing AI for sustainable development. Particularly important is our collective responsibility to ensure that AI is developed and deployed responsibly. This includes safeguarding data policy and privacy, promoting fairness and transparency, mitigating bias, and ensuring that there is no one left behind, especially women, youth, and vulnerable communities. Distinguished delegates, the outcome of this conference are expected to inform regional policy, shape the development of the EAC region AI strategy, and contribute to the broader continental and global discourse on artificial intelligence. We therefore have a shared responsibility to ensure that our deliberations translate into tangible results that benefit our citizens in the region. In conclusion, allow me to reaffirm the commitment of the East Africa community to continue working with all stakeholders to build a resilient, inclusive, and innovation-driven regional powered by science, technology, and artificial intelligence. With these remarks, it is my honor to wish you fruitful deliberation and a successful conference. I thank you for your kind attention.
Applause. Round of applause. Thank you, DSG. I take this opportunity to welcome the Council of Ministers, represented by the Minister of State, Republic of Uganda, Honorable Magode Ikuya, Minister of State for ES Affairs.
Honorable ministers present here, of course, our chief host, the Minister of EAC Rwanda, the district delegates, ladies and gentlemen. I am indeed honored to be here. I thought I came today to make a few remarks about Uganda, but now that I must also make some remarks for East Africa, I welcome all of you to East Africa. Because this event hosted in Rwanda is an East African event. And therefore, its spirit, the embracing spirit here, is that whatever we'll be doing here will be for the whole of East Africa and serve the entire people, as it were. Knowledge, all knowledge, in fact, all knowledge forms have two possibilities. One is to bring emancipation. Whenever indeed you have some knowledge, you get a way out of handling many problems. And that's why humans are where they are now, because both in the past, they have had to deal with stage by stage, acquire new knowledge forms, enabling them to overcome the adversities that they had. But also in the process of that, we also become dominant. That's the other aspect of knowledge. Brings emancipation to humans. It also enables humans to dominate the rest of the world. That's why you can dominate insects now. In the past, insects actually used to have more capacity. Locusts had more capacity to deal with us. But when we began having knowledge forms, we now can control insects and get their adversity out of our way. So there is those two aspects of it. I'm raising this because of the other fact that sometimes whenever we hear of artificial intelligence, we tend to get worried. There's a lot of rumor, but creating fear that maybe this may portend something which is quite unknown to the rest of the African people. But of course, if you do not deal with the unknown, even what others know, they can use them. You can use such knowledge against you. So that's why I'm welcoming you to this particular meeting, so that whatever you are doing, whatever we're doing today, will help us to bring these new forms of knowledge, which is called artificial knowledge. I have not yet myself embraced it, by the way. I am also in the process of learning it. I'm hearing there is something called artificial technology which can create some knowledge more than what I do know, much more than our capacity. But I'm hoping that therefore we'll be able to learn quite more as we interact. And therefore, the first real knowledge today, which I also got, was the one which was shown here when we were being welcomed. I'm hoping that the delegates, who are, including the scientists, will recognize this as a very big science. The capacity of the humans to wriggle out and get such technology. The technology shown in Rwanda today needs to be actually also to be embraced as part of the general development of things. I'm taking that part of in Uganda, and I hope that my colleagues in Rwanda will be invited to perform even more. Then we'll get that as technology. Now we meet at a defining manner when artificial intelligence is reshaping economies and societies across the globe. For East Africa, artificial intelligence offers immense potential to accelerate progress in agriculture, healthcare, education, and public service delivery, while enhancing resilience and deepening regional integration. Uganda recognizes this promise and continues to prioritize digital transformation, innovation, and skills development as central pillars of our national agenda. These challenges call for strong regional collaboration to ensure that artificial intelligence serves all our people equitably and does not accelerate existing inequalities. Here we are emphasizing that if first of all, if we do not acquire what others do know, they can use what they know to dominate us. That's one area. And that's creating inequality. But we can also have it, use it, and create within our society various forms of inequality, which creates tension and other problems. So we must be able to ensure that the technology we embrace must be useful to the rest of society to get what they call emancipation. Above all, our young people must be empowered as the driving force of innovation, entrepreneurship, and job creation. Let this conference be a turning point from dialogue to decisive action. Together, we can harness artificial intelligence to build East Africa that is resilient, inclusive, and innovative, and East Africa that leaves no one behind. Thank you very much for listening to me.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Round of applause. Now, let me take this opportunity to introduce our ministers as we continue with the program. The Republic of South Sudan, Honorable Pieng Deng, the Minister of EAC Affairs. Yeah, please. Honorable Pieng Deng is the Minister of EAC Affairs, South Sudan. Honorable Ateny Wek Ateny, the Minister of ICT and Postal Services. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Minister of Higher Education and Science and Technology, Honorable Madat Yel. United Republic of Tanzania, Ambassador Mahmoud Kombo. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Honorable Professor Dorothy Makend. The Minister of Education, Science and Technology, Ambassador Said Musa, Deputy Permanent Secretary, Minister of EAC Affairs. Republic of Kenya, we have Professor Shakat Abrazak, the Cabinet Secretary for EAC and ASARS. Dr. Salim Dokota, Principal Secretary, State Department, Republic of Uganda. Honorable Magoda Ikuya has just talked, Minister of State for EAC Affairs. Ms. Edith Mwanje, the PS, Minister of EAC Affairs, Uganda. We have representation from the Republic of Burundi. Please stand up for recognition. We have a Commissioner representative of African Union, Education, Science and Technology, Ms. Mahalit Teshom. We have Dr. Amin Idris, Director of Infrastructure and Energy and Industrialization, Auda NEPAD. We have Professor Brando, the Director for Science, Technology and Innovation, Auda NEPAD. You stand up for recognition. We have a Director for UNESCO Regional Office of East Africa, Dr. Royce. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a slight change of program. My colleague will take us through the changes. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the slight changes are like this. We've now welcomed and heard who is present from our partner states and partners. We'll welcome the keynote speaker to give a keynote presentation so that our chief guest, our guest of honor, would be in a position also to be part of us. And then after that, we'll invite our chief guest to do the official opening. For the partners' remarks, we'll have them later. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to invite our keynote presenter, who is Professor Shaukat Abdulrazak, the Principal Secretary, State Department for Science, Research and Innovation, Republic of Kenya. Professor Shaukat, welcome. Karibu sana.
As Professor is coming, apologies, would like to introduce the ministers from our host country, Rwanda. Honorable Ingabire Paula, who is the Minister of ICT and Innovation, and our chief guest. You are welcome. Honorable Olivier Nduhunjire, Minister of Foreign Affairs. You are welcome. And also have Dr. Edward Dakoz, who is representing the Minister of Education, Honorable Joseph Senjimana. You are welcome.
And proceed, Prof.
Thank you very much, moderator. Let me take this opportunity to recognize the presence of our chief guest, Her Excellency Minister Paula Ingabire, all the ministers who are present here, the permanent secretaries, ambassadors, delegates. I would also want to stand on the already established protocols. Of course, our chair of the Council of Ministers, Honorable Magode, and Dr. Alek as well. For me, really, it's a great honor to stand before you to speak on this very important subject. It's been said earlier that we really need to leapfrog in this region so that we can be able to catch with the rest of the world. So it is an honor to address this conference on a subject that is really defining the future of the nations, the artificial intelligence, and its informative role in the strengthening of science, technology, and innovation ecosystem. And I really want to commend the efforts that are being done by the East African community, ESTECO as well. Since you started this conference 2019 in Kampala, you've been continuing with this trajectory, which is extremely important in my opinion. We are living in a defining moment in human history, a moment where data is the new capital and artificial intelligence is the engine of economic transformation. The question before us is not whether AI will change our future. It is whether we will shape it and shaped it by it as well. So these are some of the interrogations that we need to have as we go along in this conference. As it's been said by Sundra Pichai, AI is one of the most profound things we are working on as humanities. The AI economic and strategic imperative is well written and is estimated that AI is projected to contribute over $15 trillion to the global economy by 2030. This is globally. When you look at our region, it is estimated by 2034 that between 150 to 200 billion economic value from the AI. So we have all this great opportunity. The big question is, are we ready for it? What do we need to do? And this is what I'm going to try to break it down for you in the few minutes that have been provided. But let me first look at the global arena, so to speak. And the global application of AI is in many fronts, so to speak. In the scientific discovery, AI accelerate drug development and material science. In health, the AI enables early diagnosis and precision medicine. In agriculture, it improves the yields, climate resilience, while in industry, it enhances productivity and automation. In innovation ecosystem, the AI powers startups and new industries. Now, when you look at all this, we are also in the same sort of group, and we need to ask ourselves, how can we be able to prepare ourselves even better so that we can be part and parcel of this story, so to speak. AI, in my opinion, is the new electricity. It will transform every industry, so to speak. AI in East Africa needs to be really changed from potential to reality. And that's why we are having this conference, so that we can be able to have dialogue from different stakeholders to be able to agree. The good thing is that AI is with us. And I want to really commend countries within East Africa. Kenya, for example, is applying AI in fintech, health, diagnostic, and agriculture. In Rwanda, it is advancing AI-driven governance and smart systems, while in Uganda, it is leveraging AI in agriculture and healthcare. And we're going to hear more about this. Tanzania is using AI in different sectors, including tourism, urban system, and natural resource, while DRC is applying AI in mining and environmental monitoring. And Burundi is actually beginning to adopt AI in agricultural sector and also the financial inclusion. AI is already shaping our region, as you've had, but at different levels. So we need to really look at what are these force multipliers, so to speak. One, it needs to accelerate research and discovery. And I'm glad that we have quite a number of intellectuals, professionals here, research, both public and private sector. We need to have this dialogue and conversation together. We also need to enhance innovation and commercialization. It is not enough that we produce innovation, but we must be able to take them through the entire pipeline so that we can be able to commercialize our innovation. We need to improve the policy and decision making, so to speak, and we need to strengthen the national competitiveness. So we've got quite a number of things that we can be able to deliberate during this conference. And among them is, how can we be able to first build that strength at the national level, what I want to call the national AI strategy, governance frameworks, and then later, of course, how do we connect the dots so that we can be able to build synergies, collaboration, and cooperation at the regional level? How can we establish the AI regulatory? But at the same time, we should not stop ourselves. We need to regulate, but we also need to innovate. So we need to have a balance of this and bring in the ethical issues as well. I was just reading a paper. The US strategy is looking on how the children could be able to be protected from the misuse and abuse of AI. So it is there with us, but as I always say, science has got the light and shadow, and we must be able to embrace it, but we also be able to look at the ethical aspect. But let me tell you one thing, that unless we do invest, it will just be a pipe dream, so to speak. And you know very well, at the African Union 2006, African heads of state had agreed we at least place 1% of the GDP in science, technology, and innovation. Quite a number of African countries are yet to walk in that trajectory. I was just having a discussion with His Excellency the President in Kenya, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, and Kenya, it is actually committed to move from 0.78% to 1 towards 2% of the GDP. I hope in the community we can all be able to do that. Unless we are able to fund our own agenda, we will always be able to be consumers of technology and waiting for other people to be able to support us. We must, I want to suggest, create an AI innovation fund that we can be able to pool our resources and be able to draw and be able to support that. Incentivize private sector investment, and they will always be able to ask what is there for them. So we must be able to look at strategies of how the private sector could be able to invest in this ecosystem through the public-private partnership. Also, we need to build the digital and compute infrastructure. We must have both the hardware and the software when it comes to AI. So national data center, we need to have them. We need to have high performance computing and the broad-based expansion. I know quite a number of countries were in that trajectory, but we need to make sure that we can be able to have these as centers of excellence under the auspices of the East African community, so to speak. But above all, it is all about the main pillar, in my opinion, and this is about training and capacity building. If the AI is the engine, then human capital is the fuel. And we must be able to see how we can have the AI talent pipeline. Which are the institutions in our schools, universities? We need to align these institutions so that we can be able to expand in science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and digital skills. Very important that we build the skills so that we can be able to have capacity and have less reliance, so to speak, from outside. And then we must be able to develop a specialized program, and I want to believe the institutions that are here, they'll be able to give us a direction on their strength and the challenges and be able for us to be able to identify. But also, if you're going at the university level, I think we are playing at a very small league, and I want us to upscale this. The standards are that we must be able to do at least 100 PhDs per million population. And this is the opportunity that we have, that we need to build that capacity if we need to have a very strong, vibrant institutions of higher learning within our region. The AI centers of excellence, we can look at all areas, but we need to focus. If we can be able to look at health, look at agriculture, climate, industry, and above all, linking the academia with the industry and the government. I think for a long time we've been having silos mentality. We need to break these silos, build collaboration, build synergies so that we can be able to move forward. We look at all levels. We need to look at the secondary school level. We need to look at the TVET, because this is where it's going to be a game changer, in my opinion. And then we need to look at the higher level as well. We need to develop programs, internship program, and be able to have mobility of our students within the community. We are already doing that with the Inter-University Council, and I want to commend the efforts that are being done there, but we need to scale it up so that we can be able to have students starting from a country and be able to finish in another one. Promote a regional talent mobility is extremely important, and then be able to address some of our strengths by having a joint shared experiences, co-supervision by professors, having the AI talent pool so that we do not need to reinvent the wheel. As we are looking into this, as has been said earlier, we need to look at our youth, we need to look at women as well, we need to look at the marginalized community. Nobody should be left behind when it comes in this very important subject as we move forward. And then, of course, looking at the localized. We need to socialize the science. I've always talked about the socialization of science. Science should be able to look at the societal issues. What are the challenges that are facing us? For example, if you look at certain areas like health, for example, it is appalling to note that we have a challenge within East African community and Africa at large, where 75% of the African population have no access to diagnosis and treatment of cancer. If you come back home, 340,000 people within the African community are actually we get new cases of cancer every year, and we lose almost 200,000 people. And this is where now the AI can be able to come in. We can be able to do more diagnostic. AI model can be able to help in medical imaging, the MRI, the CT scans, and so on and so forth. By so doing, we can be able to improve the survival rates. We can be able to lessen the burden of the health system, and we can be able to personalize precision medicine. And above all, we will be able to generate our own data. It is unfortunate that quite a number of the data that we are using within our region is actually generated somewhere else. So data generation is extremely important. If you pick another area, I'm just going to give you 3 examples because of time. Agriculture, for example, we can be able to analyze the satellite image and be able to optimize irrigation, the fertilizer uses, crop health monitoring. All this is the beauty of AI. We are in a region whereby almost 64 million people were food insecure last year. This is unacceptable. With the technology, innovation, and AI that is with us, we need to embrace it so that it can be able to address these challenges of the society. In so doing, we will improve productivity, efficiency, we'll be able to reduce the environmental impact, and we'll be able to have more of the climate-smart agriculture practices. And last but not least, just to give you an example, is on the climate and energy. Again, 42% of the population in our region have no access to electricity. That's why we're using AI, we can be able to understand the demand and supply. We can be able to bring in the emerging technologies, including nuclear energy that quite a number of African countries, including here in Rwanda, that are embracing now nuclear, to be able to have it in our energy mix. And we can be able to look at other renewable energy to be able to balance the supply and demand. We can also be able to address the challenges of carbon emissions. And most importantly, we can also be able to enhance the energy supply. So what am I saying? What I'm saying is that we need to build that infrastructure. We need to bridge the gap in skills. We need to enhance research and development. And also, we need to try and find ways and means of how we can be able to leapfrog. AI is everywhere. It is not that big, scary in the future. It is here with us. We must embrace it and make good use of it. Our ambition must be clear. From technology consumers to technology producers, from low-skill economies to knowledge and innovation economies, from fragmented systems to integrated regional. And my call here is, as my president, His Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto has always been saying, innovation is the engine of economic transformation and national competitiveness. Let us therefore invest boldly. Let us build capacity deliberately. Let us collaborate regionally, and let's innovate relentlessly. And in conclusion, AI is not just a technology. It is about power, productivity, and prosperity. If we get it right, East Africa region can unlock over $200 billion in economic value, position itself as a global hub for science, technology, and innovation. The future will belong to those who combine human intelligence with artificial intelligence to transform their society. Let us seize this opportunity. Let us lead, and let us minimize being led always. Let us create an agenda in East Africa for Africans, by Africans. I thank you, and God bless you, and I wish you all a very deliberate discussion and very fruitful conference as we go along. Asante sana. Shukran.
Thank you, Professor Abrazak, for that keynote. Let me take this opportunity also to introduce the Executive Secretary of the Kiswahili Commission, Dr. Asime Caroline. I would also like to introduce Honorable Ves Iradukunda, Minister of State for Minister of ICT and Innovation. Amidst us also we have Uganda National Council of Science and Technology, Executive Secretary, and also Rwanda National Council of Science and Technology. If you are here, please stand up for recognition. You are welcome. We would like also to thank our partners who are already on the screen. We have Science for Africa Foundation. You are welcome. You can also stand up for recognition. We have the Afrarite, and also ALIN, the African Research Institute of Network, and also The British Development Corporation is also here. The UK Development Corporation, you are also welcome. Over to you, Dr. Salome.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time has come. The time we would like to listen to our chief guest, our guest of honor. Let us all rise. At least we've been sitting for long as we welcome our guest of honor, Honorable Paula Igabire. Welcome. You can take your seats.
Thank you very much. Excellencies, distinguished ministers, representatives of regional and international organizations, academia, private sector, innovators, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It's my great honor to welcome you to the 4th EAC Regional Science and Technology Innovation Conference. We gather here in Kigali at a pivotal moment where the world is facing compounding crises, geopolitical instability, climate shocks, economic uncertainty, and yet it's precisely in such moments that science, technology, and innovation become our most powerful instruments for collective resilience. Let me also start by thanking the ISTCO and IUCA Secretariat for convening such a powerful gathering and all the partners that have made this possible. This year's theme, Harnessing Artificial Intelligence for a Resilient, Inclusive, and Innovative East Africa, could not be more timely. AI is no longer a future concept, it's here, reshaping economies and lives today. The question for East Africa is not whether to engage with AI, but how to lead on our own terms. Our region has built strong foundations that we often are given credit for, from mobile networks that cover over 90% of the East African population. Internet traffic surged 54% in a single year. These are not small achievements. They are the connective issue or tissue on which an AI scalable and capable region can be built. We've seen early AI applications that are already generating real impact. We've had the various speakers that spoke before me highlighting various examples, and I'll specifically pick out a few to highlight. In Kenya, we're looking at AI-driven crop insurance and climate advisory platforms that are protecting smallholder farmers from harvest losses. Here in Rwanda, we're using drone-delivered medical supplies and AI-assisted disease surveillance as we extend the reach of our health system to every corner of our country. In Tanzania and Uganda, machine learning-powered fintech platforms are extending financial services to millions that were previously excluded from the formal economy. In Rwanda, we see our own projections on how AI could contribute at least 5% to our GDP, driven primarily by productivity gains in agriculture and health delivery, as well as education. Continent-wide, the African Development Bank projects that AI adoption could add up to 1 trillion to Africa's GDP by 2035, creating 35 to 40 million new digital jobs and $150 billion in additional tax revenue. The numbers I've just shared are not abstract figures. They represent the futures we can build if we act with purpose, coordination, and conviction that East Africa must be an architect of AI, not merely an end user. Distinguished colleagues, the greatest risk that East Africa faces is that we will remain consumers of AI systems built elsewhere, trained on data that does not reflect our very own realities, and also optimized for problems that are not our own. To break this dependency, we must build our own AI research and innovation capabilities deliberately, urgently, and at scale. This means far more than importing tools or training users. It means cultivating scientists, engineers, and institutions capable of originating new AI knowledge. East Africa needs dedicated AI research institutes, not merely the ICT departments that we have in our existing universities, but purpose-built centers with the mandate, resources, and talent to conduct frontier research. Rwanda's Center for Fourth Industrial Revolution and the Africa Institute for Mathematical Sciences are proof that we can build globally competitive research institutions on this continent. We must replicate and connect such models across the region. Building African AI data sets. AI systems are only as good as the data they learn from. Today, we've seen that less than 3% of global internet content exists in African languages. AI models trained on this skewed data will misdiagnose our patients, misclassify our crops, and misread our markets. We must invest urgently in curating large-scale, high-quality data sets in Swahili, Kinyarwanda, Luganda, and other East African languages, but also in digitizing agriculture, health, and economic data that reflects East African ground truth. We need a generation of AI researchers, not just users. This requires investment at every level, coding and computational thinking in primary schools, AI and data science curricula in secondary and tertiary institutions, competitive PhD fellowships that keep our best minds in East Africa rather than losing them abroad. The FDB projects millions of AI-driven jobs by 2035. Let us ensure that our youth have the skills to claim them and the research capacity to create them. I want to also speak about connecting innovation ecosystems across borders. Each of our countries has a growing tech hub, but today, these ecosystems are operating largely in isolation. We must build structured connections, shared accelerator programs, cross-border challenge funds, and a joint venture capital vehicles that allow an African AI startup born in Rwanda to scale seamlessly across the different East African markets. Innovation cannot flourish in silos. As we think about closing the R&D and investment gap, we must do this together. The African Union's STI strategy calls for member states to invest at least 1% of GDP in research and development. Most of our East African countries remain significantly below this target. We cannot close this gap as a country alone or each country on their own, but as a regional bloc, we can pool resources, share research infrastructure, establish a joint EAC AI research fund that finances projects of regional strategic importance. I also want to talk about AI sovereignty, because this is a key conversation that is happening in multiple global platforms, but also why it defines our future as a bloc. And I want to speak plainly about something that must anchor everything we discuss at this conference, which is AI sovereignty. AI sovereignty means the capacity of East African nations individually and collectively to define how AI is developed, deployed, and governed within our borders. It means our data stays in our hands, our citizens' rights are protected by our laws, our AI systems reflect our values, and the economic value generated by AI in East Africa accrues to East Africans. This is not a protectionist ambition. We welcome global AI partners and investment, but partnership must be built on equity, not dependency. And right now, the structure of global AI development creates dependency by default. Consider what is at stake. The major AI foundations that will increasingly power everything from education platforms to government services to financial systems are being built by a handful of technology companies that are outside of Africa. These models are trained overwhelmingly on Western data, reflect Western assumptions, and are governed by Western regulatory frameworks. When we deploy these systems without adaptation, without local oversight, and without the capacity to audit or challenge them, we're ceding something fundamental, the ability to determine our own digital future. The EAC bloc is uniquely positioned to assert AI sovereignty, but only if we act together. Regional coordination is not optional, it's existential. A coordinated EAC approach to AI offers three irreplaceable advantages: scale, leverage, and speed. Data sovereignty requires regional infrastructure. As long as East African data is processed and stored on servers outside the region, we have limited legal or practical control over how it is used. A regional cloud and a data center strategy owned and governed under the EAC frameworks is the physical foundation of AI sovereignty. No single EAC country can finance or fill such an infrastructure gap alone, but together we can. Regulatory sovereignty requires harmonization. Fragmented national AI regulations create arbitrage opportunities for global technology companies who naturally route their most lightly regulated operations through whichever EAC member state has the weakest rules. Only a harmonized EAC regulatory framework closes this gap and gives us collective bargaining power in negotiations on global platforms. Economic sovereignty requires local AI capability. If the AI systems used in agriculture, healthcare, finance, education are entirely foreign-built and foreign-owned, and productivity gains they will generate will flow disproportionately to foreign shareholders. Building local AI research and innovation capacity is not just a skills agenda, it is an economic sovereignty agenda. It determines who captures the value that AI creates in our economies. Algorithmic sovereignty requires African voices in AI governance. The norms, standards, and governance frameworks being set today at the UN, the G20, the OECD, the ITU will shape how AI is regulated globally for decades. East Africa must actively participate at these tables with a unified voice and clear position. Rwanda, through its co-chairship of the Africa AI Council, is working to ensure the continent's perspective shapes these global frameworks. But continental impact requires regional unity, and the EAC must speak as one. I want to share 5 commitments as I end my remarks this morning for what a sovereign and innovative East African community will look like in the age of intelligence. And I hope that over the next 3 days, we can move, and I think the minister mentioned it, moving from dialogue to binding commitments. But the 5 commitments are, the first one, an EAC AI sovereignty declaration, a formal statement affirming EAC member states will exercise sovereign authority over AI development and deployment within the bloc, including the right to audit systems used in public service, require local data processing for sensitive sectors, and mandate transparency from AI providers operating in our markets. The second one is a regional AI research and innovation compact, a binding commitment by all EAC member states to establish a joint AI research fund financed by national contributions, development partners, and private sector co-investment to finance frontier AI research, shared datasets, and cross-border innovation. Third, a shared digital infrastructure roadmap, an agreement on a phased plan for at least starting with 3 data centers, regional data centers, and a sovereign East Africa cloud platform governed under EAC data protection frameworks to keep East Africa data in East Africa and reduce compute costs for local researchers and innovators. The fourth, a harmonized EAC AI governance framework, and I think ISTCO had mentioned that as well, as we think about mandating and supporting ISTCO to develop and adopt a unified EAC AI policy framework by the end of this year that will cover algorithmic accountability, cross-border AI deployment standards, consumer protection, and a shared approach to AI in public service. And the last one is East African AI human capital surge, and we must commit collectively to training millions of AI-capable professionals by 2030 through expanded university programs, joint doctoral programs, and fellowships, an EAC AI skills certification standard, and dedicated investment in women, youth as the next generation of AI builders. Distinguished guests, history teaches us that nations which cooperate during crisis recover faster and prosper the longest. Science and technology have always been a force multiplier for collaboration. AI gives us an extraordinary new tool, but only if we wield it together with equity and intent. And Rwanda is proud to host the gathering over the next 3 days of ministers, researchers, innovators, civil society leaders, because you represent the collective intelligence of our region. And over the next 3 days, let's forge partnerships, commitments, and plans that make East Africa not just a consumer of AI, but a contributor of how AI will be governed, developed, and deployed for human good. Together, let's make East Africa a beacon of innovation, sovereignty, and inclusion in a challenging world. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, and thank you for that clear call to action. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the program is still going on. Allow me to intervene and welcome our speaker, because now the conference will now officially launch a call for nodes to establish a regional network on artificial intelligence in education and research. And this is to everyone that is here. After that, we'll then take a group photo as proof of what we said and commitments that we made. Allow me to welcome Dr. Idris Rai, Executive Secretary, IUCA, to take us through this moment. And then after that, we'll take a group photo and we can continue with the program. The floor is all yours.
Thank you very much, the MC. We did talk about establishing a network of universities to collaborate on research and education on AI under the auspices of AI Alliance, EAC AI Alliance. Now we have a call for interested and qualified universities in the region to apply to be nodes of this network from each partner state. Now, I'm privileged to be given an opportunity to launch that call. Now I'll launch that call through an excerpt just to introduce the initiative, and then we'll declare the call is open. And then the institutions will be able to access the website here. There will be a QR code, and then they'll be able to submit the applications. Now, artificial intelligence offers a transformative opportunity to accelerate socioeconomic development, strengthen public service delivery, and enhance regional competitiveness across the East African community. Realizing this potential requires deliberate coordination among higher education institutions, research bodies, industry, and policymakers, supported by shared resources and a coherent regional vision. As we can recall from our chief guest as well as the keynote, this is indeed deliberate coordination, regional coordination indeed important. In response, IUCER, in collaboration with the STECO and GIZ through EAC Alliance project, has developed an initiative to establish a regional network on artificial intelligence in education and research. Foundation, which is basic, the network is a foundation building block to the Regional Federated Center of Excellence in AI, Research and Education. A call is hereby being launched, inviting universities across the EAC to express interest in serving as national nodes within this network. The network will promote structured collaboration between academia, industry, policy ecosystems, ensuring that AI development in the region is both technically rigorous and aligned with national and regional priorities. Interested universities are expected to demonstrate strong academic research capacity, a commitment to advancing AI education and innovation, and the ability to engage effectively with government, industry, and other stakeholders. Selected institutions or nodes will be expected to serve as a national hub, playing a pivotal role in developing AI-skilled workforce, undertaking collaborative interdisciplinary research, and addresses societal challenges, informing policy processes, and contributing to a coordinated regional academic approach to AI in their respective partner states. Interested universities are encouraged to present their institutional strengths, alignment with national and regional development agendas, and readiness to contribute to a shared regional platform. In short, distinguished participants, this network is intended to address some of the issues that have been raised already so far, and I'll highlight a few. One is to have AI talent pipelines within the region, equally implemented in all partner states, having specialized programs within the network, focus on specific domains, particularly avoiding working on silos, and developing programs together collaboratively for the institutions that are going to be within the network. This is like a dedicated AI research network for the community, that again addresses the AI sovereignty issue that has been mentioned by our chief guest. Without having our institutions having the capacity to develop AI-skilled workforce, we will lose that sovereignty easily. So with that background, IUCER in collaboration with the STECO and GIZ is pleased to hereby declare that the call for universities to apply to be nodes for the Regional AI Network in Education and Research is officially launched. Yes, I was told there will be a QR code. Where's the QR code? I don't see, oh, it's here. I was looking in the middle. Thank you very much. So we would like to call upon all stakeholders available, particularly policymakers, ministers, to encourage, to support us in this agenda. We want to create a framework whereby universities are able to collaborate to advance education in AI, but also transdisciplinary research. Details are available on the calls, and universities, please apply. I should say that partner states will be involved in selecting the nodes. The nodes are strategical institutions selected jointly by EAC as well as partner states to create them as a hub. So we support. As IUCER, we coordinate that partnership and support them so that we build the capacity of our institutions equitably or equally within the partner states. So this is a federated network instead of having localized institutions specializing on specific areas of AI research. Thank you very much for your support.
Thank you very much, Professor Rai. Before you leave the stage, allow me to welcome Professor Okoth from EAC STECO to join us so we can take a photo here and remember such a wonderful moment of the launch that we've seen for the call for notes. I would also love to call upon a representative from GIZ, Mr. David in the house, to join us. Mr. David Ross is here with us. Thank you very much. we can raise it so that we are able to see it well for the photographers. May I please have the official photographer raise his hand so that the gentleman over there, please raise your hand so we can see you. That's the official photographer over there. Excuse me, sir. Please offer. All right. Thank you. Beautiful. Let me please take away the placard, and I will ask you to please stay on stage. Allow me to also welcome our Honorable Minister to join us, our guest of honor, Honorable Minister Paula Ingabire, to join us on stage. Allow me to also welcome all the ministers that are represented here, that are representing us here today, representing the different countries. We also have the permanent secretaries that we have here. We also have the DSG here with us. Allow me to also welcome. We're going to take a bunch of photos, and this is going to be the first photo that we are taking. So we have the Honorable Chair of the EAC Council with us, Honorable Ministers from the EAC partner states, permanent principal and undersecretaries from EAC partner states, the Deputy Secretary General of the East African Community here with us. Thank you. One more time, allow me to present you the official photographer so that all of us are looking in the center of the same camera. The gentleman raising the hand over here is the official photographer of the conference. The rest of the team, if you don't have the right photo, he can easily give it to you. Other than that, the rest of us, all we are asked to do is showcase our amazing smiles. Beautiful. Thank you very much. Thank you. Honorable Minister, if it's okay with you, I would love to bring in another set of people that would love to have a photo. And I would also love to request the different heads of EAC organs and institutions that we have here today to join us. The members of the diplomatic corps here with us. As well as the vice chancellors that we have here with us. We can make one step in front, just a little bit, so that we can have it taken perfectly. Time, allow me to introduce the official photographer. This is the gentleman, and we are all looking in the city of Kigali. Thank you. All right, thank you very much. All right. Now, we have another team that really has done a good job. And I think the organizing committee did an amazing job for most of us to come from different parts of the countries we are coming from, and for us to be here, bookings, the organization. You should have seen the meetings and the internet that was spent to make all the calls. So can I have the whole organizing committee here with us, the staff of the EAC organs and institutions to be with us here today so that we can take that photo. And Honorable Minister, I'm told they enjoyed having you so much in this photo that they can't give a report without you in it. So allow me to have everybody please join in. I know you are doing certain jobs over there. Some of you are in comms and we've been in organizing. Please join us. Come under and we have this moment and take a photo so that we remember such an amazing day. All right, please join us quickly. Thank you very much. This is the team that is making today possible. It is a big team, and that's why it would be good if we give them a time also. Allow me to welcome Honorable Minister to join us in the photo. Allow me to also welcome Professor Idris Rai, if you can join us. Dr. Okot, if you can join us. Our Honorable Secretary General, if you can, Deputy Secretary General, if you can join us. And the Chair of the Council of the Ministers, EAC, if you can join us. And we can have this photo really to remember such a wonderful day and the conference that we've just started here today. Thank you. Beautiful. Thank you very much. Thank you all. A round of applause to everybody else. Perfect. I would like to mention that the program is still going on. The program is still going on, but as you know, just in case you see that some of our guests and maybe our guest of honor is leaving out for a few minutes, please don't worry, the program is still going on. And for those of you who know, we are here for 3 days. Most of us are excited to see the conversations of how we are going to move from being consumers of AI to the drivers and the people that actually manage and govern the policies. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Fortunate and Dr. Salom, the floor is all yours. You can take us through the speakers that we have, especially the partners that we have to give their remarks. Thank you.
Thank you very much, MC. We are going to have the United Republic of Tanzania, the minister to give his opening remarks, followed by Republic of South Sudan. The floor is yours, Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, moderator. It's very difficult to speak after the guest of honor has spoken. So I'll try to summarize as much as possible because you have said it all. You have given us the challenges. You have given us the direction of the 5 steps that we need to move forward. But I would like to recognize my colleagues, fellow ministers, PSCs, youth leaders, researchers, innovators, academic leaders, private sector companies, development partners, supporters, ladies and gentlemen, friends, brothers and sisters. Allow me at the onset, first and foremost, to thank the organizers of this very important forum that we are meeting to discuss our future. And on behalf of the United Republic of Tanzania and on behalf of my delegation that I'm leading, I wish really to express deepest and sincere appreciation to our host, Rwanda. As usual, their hospitality, their warm welcome and excellent arrangements have made our visit success and very important for this regional gathering. I would like to recognize my dear brother and friend, Olivier Nduhungirehe, Minister of Foreign Affairs, who has always been there supporting us, and we have been cooperating together very closely. I thank the government of Rwanda. I thank also, on behalf of the United Republic of Tanzania, to the organizers, ISTECO and Inter-University Council for East Africa, led by one of our own, Professor Idris Rai, whom we are very proud of. Thank you, Professor. You make us proud. He's from Tanzania. He's from my hometown. He's from my home village as well. So I'm very proud of that. For their continued leadership in advancing science and technology and innovation across our region and East African community. I'm here with my colleagues, and we have our Minister of Education, Madam Guest of Honor, your counterpart is here from the United Republic of Tanzania, Professor Mkenda, and we hope to have a more dialogue on what you established in your speech clearly for our collaboration and cooperation with other ministers from the East African community. This 4th Regional STI Conference, under the theme Harnessing Artificial Intelligence for a Resilient, Inclusive and Innovative East Africa, comes at a very, very critical moment when our region is positioning itself to harness emerging technologies to accelerate development and well-being of our people, whilst deepening our regional integration. Because we've been talking too much about our regional integration, but every time there are barriers between us. Me and my brother Nduhungirehe, we are working very hard to reduce and remove, finally, those barriers. Across the world, artificial intelligence is transforming economies and reshaping the way governments deliver their services. For us in East Africa, artificial intelligence represents a powerful catalyst for development and well-being of East Africans themselves on transforming, as it was said, agriculture, healthcare, education, and climate resilience. East African Community Vision 2050 is in line with our own vision in the United Republic of Tanzania, which is known as Vision 2050 and was launched recently by Her Excellency, Madam President Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan. This vision calls upon us as individual countries, but also partner states, to build a competitive, knowledge-based regional economy driven by science and technology innovations, focusing on challenges from our youth and for their own better future. Honorable guest of honor, dear delegates, colleagues, ministers, under the leadership of Her Excellency Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, the President of the United Republic of Tanzania, digital transformation and innovation have become central pillars of our national development agenda and main chapter in our new Vision 2050. Our President has emphasized, and I quote, digital technology, AI, and digitalization itself should not be merely a tool for modernization, but a catalyst for inclusive development and improved service delivery for our people, and should focus on better future for the youth. End of quote. Through the National ICT Broadband Backbone, NIBB, in the United Republic of Tanzania, we have expanded high-speed connectivity across our own country and with our neighbors and partner states in the East African community. The digital economy framework is guiding our efforts to accelerate digital transformation and strengthen digital entrepreneurship from our education system all the way to the private sector. The United Republic of Tanzania Commission for Science and Technology, COSTECH, continues to support research, technology, commercialization, and innovation across the country, whilst working very closely with all the universities and key stakeholders in the academia, including ICT Commission from the government side and partner states in East African community. I'm informed, Madam Guest of Honor and Ministers, today that we have many of our universities in Tanzania present here in this hall. So I wish to recognize all the universities from Tanzania. Can you stand up and make me more proud? Simameni bwana. Na sisi tuonekane. So universities from United Republic of Tanzania are here. Asanteni sana. To work together with their fellow colleagues from the universities in East African community. We have brought a very big team. If we compete, maybe we are going to win in numbers. Today, United Republic of Tanzania hosts more than 30 innovation hubs, which are fully financed and supported by the government, and over 300 technology startups projects contributing to economic growth and technological advancement. Her Excellency Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan is looking forward in very near future to support more, and there will be also on competitive basis whereby the youth will be competing towards this startup funding. This is one of the response also to the 5 areas where we said, because when you work with government budget, the priorities are too many. Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education, water issues, etc., all other priorities. Sometimes AI falls the last in a priority list. But through startups and competitiveness, they can be on top of the list in competing for the budget which is allocated to them. These initiatives are aligned with the National Science, Technology and Innovation Master Plan and United Republic of Tanzania Development Vision 2050. And we are hoping to allocate more towards this for their very positive outcomes that we have started seeing. Guest of honor, excellencies, ministers and delegates, we have looked into artificial intelligence with a very positive outcome so far. They've been transforming already, in a small scale, some of our economic sectors. For instance, in agriculture, we are looking forward to very soon implementing precision farming and crop forecasting in testing areas. In healthcare, we have seen it improving diagnostics and disease surveillance, including sharing of information with more developed world through telemedicine. In education, we have seen it expanding access to quality learning and digital skills, and it can also strengthen climate resilience and disaster preparedness. East Africa's greatest asset is its transformation in our youth, because we are blessed with youth. If we don't do transformation, it will turn into a curse. For example, United Republic of Tanzania, 74% of its population is youth, 40 and below. With the right, responsible, and ethical investment in digital skills and innovation ecosystems, our trained, responsible youth can become creators of technology and drivers of economic growth. If it is put in, I repeat again, if it is put into responsible way, if it is not put into responsible way, it has got its consequences as well. And we have seen part of those consequences. While the opportunities are immense, we must also address the challenges ahead of us. And these are 5 main challenges. Number 1 is limited budgetary and technical capacity to build these tools. Number 2 is evolving governance and democratic system frameworks and insufficient investment into AI research. These challenges require stronger regional collaboration, which we can come over with. Through cooperation amongst government, academia, industries, private sector, and development partners, the East African community can build a robust ecosystem for responsible AI adoption. Another challenge is sharing of information within our region. We do go outside the region without consulting the region most of the time. We believe the local solution will come first from our region. And finally is about sharing the little resources. Instead of each region, each country hanging separately, we better hang together, otherwise we'll be hanged separately. Allow me to conclude by reaffirming our United Republic of Tanzania's commitment to regional cooperation in, I repeat this word, responsible science, technology, and innovation. Together, we can harness responsible artificial intelligence to strengthen resilience, expand opportunities, and drive sustainable development across East Africa. And all are ready to cooperate and collaborate with all our colleagues in the East African partner states at large. I thank you very much for your kind attention. Thank you.
Round of applause for Honorable Minister. Let me take this opportunity to welcome the head of delegation, Honorable Minister from South Sudan, Republic of South Sudan. You are welcome.
Honorable guests of honor, let me stand by the established protocols for the interest of time, so I observe all the protocols. It is my honor to be invited to the 4th East African Regional STI Conference 2026, whose themes read Harnessing Artificial Intelligence for a Resilient, Inclusive, and Innovative East Africa. I would like to also I'm delighted for the warm welcome and hospitality I and my delegation enjoyed from the official of the host country, the great country of Rwanda and the people of Rwanda. More particular, from Honorable Paula Ingabire. Excuse my pronunciation. The Minister of ICT and Innovation in the Republic of Rwanda. Honorable guests of honor, since our independence in 2011, South Sudan has labored for a change through adapting and using the existing and emerging technologies to digital transform the social, economics, and governance sector needed for improving livelihood of the people of South Sudan and its government. The Ministry of Information, Communication, Technology, and Postal Service in the Republic of South Sudan, being mandated to carry out the task of building digital institutions and driving the process of bridging digital gaps, is here to share experiences and participate in the innovative discussion with all the colleagues, partners, and stakeholders for a digital East African future. During this period, South Sudan had built a regulatory body, licensed 3 mobile operators, and 13 internet service providers for a country of 644,000 square kilometers in size. These companies were able to subscribe 4 million persons out of a population of 13 million South Sudanese, and we are currently beginning to construct our fiber optics, which will cover 2,600 kilometer network infrastructure across the country, which will provide high-speed internet capacity and build the last mile facilities upon which the artificial intelligence, the Internet of Things, and other emerging technologies will be activated. The country is also building its national data center for hosting data, while at the same time establishing cyberspace and data protection laws for sustainable and reliable ecosystem. Recently, the Ministry of Information, Communication Technology, and Postal Service established its electronic government, e-government services infrastructure, which works with South Sudan Revenue Authority as SRA for electronic collection of governments and non-oil revenues, including digitalization and digital transformation, on which we mount the ICT associated component of technologies. Our private sector has already embarked on digital transformation along regulatory environment for investment. Honorable guests of honor, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, South Sudan, having ratified East African Community, the African Union, and the UN charters, recognizes all individual visions, agendas, and strategies associated with these characters as they align with our Constitution. Within this conference, we will enter into open interaction. In the plenary sessions, meet the sector leaders, policymakers, suppliers, contributors, and developers to study and address the regional requirements in depth for effective partnership and coordination. The region requires speedy development using all types of technologies, existing and emerging, as we want to catch up with digitally developing well. We need to recognize our position on economic level and address gaps through the use of digital platforms. With the recognition that our region is slow to cope up with the international standard and that we should move faster, it is time for a collective effort of coordination, cooperation, and collaboration through shared experiences. And we should also know that while we try to move up the ladder, the developing well is stepping further ahead, making the digital and economic gap wider from us. To start with, effective partnership and collaboration, our cross-borders protocols and networks regulation should be harmonized for easy traffic, made easy through the development of AI, robotics, Internet of Things, and other emerging technologies. This element of the technology shall mitigate environmental impacts, such as floods in South Sudan, droughts in other countries, and electronic waste, that e-waste, which overwhelm our nation, our region. Honorable guests of honor, sector actors and players, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, the East Africa region is composed of many different cultures and diverse languages. This requires a measure of intensive exploration and innovation for consideration of digital transformation application. While regional cultures and languages represent the beauty of our region and continent, they sometimes resist progress in digital transformation. But with power of artificial intelligence, AI, these cultures and languages could be used to promote communication, digital awareness, general education, community development, and socio-economic changes. The technologies should meet the quest for digital awareness through regional languages made simple with English, French, and Arabic, which are widely used in East African region. For instance, South Sudan has 64 communities with the spoken tongues, in addition to elements of Kiswahili and Arabic and Juba Arabic as a typical example. This could be an area of focus for the application of AI and other emerging technologies for the process of digital transformation. The region needs a common ground which should suit our African cultures and environment. Additionally, the region needs the technologies for wealth exploration and exploitation, which include resources such as human resources and natural resources in water, on land, and deep down below the soil. While working to realize our vision for socio-economic development, we encounter the absence of collective efforts, which is why there are variations in economics, livelihood for the individual East African community citizens. The South Sudan Vision 2040, with its 7 pillars, is not different from the AU and East African state visions, nor is our strategies different. There are barriers imposed by our environment and cultural diversities to address politically and technology to allow us focus on the common good. We trust the development of the ICT elements of technology such as artificial intelligence will fill the gap and employment of human power, capacity and limit. The technology will be made to enter into the fields of construction, production, in education and research to help communities and government drive their goals and achievement. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please accept my appreciation for the commendable organization of the STI Conference made by the organizers, particularly the East African Science and Technology Commission and the Inter-University Council for East Africa, in collaboration with the regional and global STI stakeholders in the beautiful city of Kigali. Once again, honorable guests of honor, allow me to thank the government of the Republic of Rwanda and the people of Rwanda and your ministry and the people of Rwanda and your ministry for the welcome and the hospitality accorded to us. I and my delegation are delighted to see and stay in this beautiful city. And I feel the sense of kindness and brotherhood from the people of Rwanda. In conclusion, it is also a great opportunity to meet with my partners, the ministers of ICTs that came across our region, and all the stakeholders here. I thank you here, and I will say, may God bless the Republic of Rwanda, and may God bless East African community. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. And for the interest of time, for our technical partners, we request that you just come and give a statement of 2-3 minutes, mainly because you'll be engaging deeply on the technical component of this conference. And to start with, I call upon the representative of Dr. Tom Kariuki, the founding CEO of Science for Africa Foundation, mainly just about the institution and the engagement on the AI, and you rate it be there. And I would encourage if you can use a moving microphone. Sometimes podium tends to encourage each one of us to over-engage.
Okay, good morning. Our chief guest, Honorable Pauline Ngubire, honorable ministers, distinguished delegates, colleagues, and friends, allow me to ride on previous protocols for this address, and I'll also shorten it for the sake of time. Muraho. So I congratulate ISTECO and EAC for convening us today on this very important theme. I love visiting Kigali because the weather reminds me of home. My name is Dr. Moses Alobo. I am head of programs, and I represent the Science for Africa Foundation, Professor Tom Kariuki, our founding CEO, who could not be with us because of an emergency. Our mission is simple, but bold: to support, strengthen, and promote science in Africa, from science to impact. And as part of our contribution towards the EAC strategy on STI, especially Pillar 2, research and entrepreneurship, we have worked with more than 20 AI innovators across the continent in one of our recent grantee cohorts. And each of these cohorts received between $100,000 to $200,000. One of those grantees, Madam Chief Guest, is actually based here in Kigali. His name is David Kamugundu, who works closely with the government of Rwanda. 12 of those artificial intelligence innovators are in East Africa. And from that journey, we have seen both the enormous potential of African AI talent and very real obstacles that stand in the way of scaling their innovations. These innovators are building tools to improve health, agriculture, climate, and environmental issues. For example, just the beginning first 6 months of last year, they registered 4 patents, and some of them have moved towards algorithmic sovereignty. Yet, they face some persistent challenges: limited digital infrastructure, and others which I will not go through for the sake of time. But they also struggle with fragmented and short-term funding, with partnerships that are sometimes too small, too narrow, too fragile to help them grow sustainable, scalable solutions. And yet, despite these particular constraints, the message from these innovators is one of optimism. With the right enabling environment, East Africa can actually lead. And I'll give you an example. One of the ideas that was implemented by Meta, WhatsApp, and pushed to all your phones beginning of last year, we were actually negotiating a deal with an AI innovator here in Africa before that happened. So we are talking about cutting-edge science being done on this particular continent. So for us, a digitally unified EAC is not just about fiber optic cables and data centers. It's about shared rules, shared opportunities, shared values. To lead this work, we will promote digital transformation and AI, regional STI indicators, technology transfer, space science, and technology innovation collaborative grants. We will work through the partnership of ISTECO, East African Community AI Alliance, and AUDA NEPAD. We'll also, and we have been working with public-private partnerships and a robust connection to commercialization partners. And to get there, there are some things that we just need to consider. We must treat digital and data infrastructure as regional public goods. Our connectivity should not stop at borders, and neither should data. When we invest in reliable networks, secure cloud capacity, and interoperable systems at EAC level, we lower the cost of innovation for everyone. And towards this, we have started work on the science computing landscape mapping for the African continent. We must also unlock responsible access to quality data. And this is a big problem for the innovators, especially the AI innovators on the continent and even in EAC, because government remains to be the groups that have the best data for artificial intelligence, and yet access to that particular data can sometimes be a challenge. And then lastly, we must center ethics and public trust from the start. And I'm talking about both official and unofficial trust platforms being very critical. Because as we get along, and I'm sure you've already realized, AI systems influence who gets a loan, who gets seen at a clinic, which village receives support in a drought, questions of fairness, justice, accountability, and bias are therefore not academic. They are political, and they are also deeply human. We need Africa-led ethical frameworks for artificial intelligence development and deployment, and we must foster open dialogue and public engagement. So, as I conclude, Science for Africa Foundation is committed to partnering with governments, regional bodies, and innovators to exactly promote these kind of shifts. But no single organization can build a digitally unified East Africa. So therefore, this is a project for the ecosystem as a whole. So as we reflect on the 7th EAC development strategy over the coming days, may I invite you to consider one simple idea, that we treat artificial intelligence not as a distant technical topic, but as a core enabler of East Africa's integration agenda. So that when you plan your transport corridors, for example, you also think about data corridors. When you design health or education programs, you also ask where AI can help you see further, respond faster, and reach more people more fairly. We build on this particular idea tomorrow at a side event in the morning, hosted by Science for Africa Foundation and also our partners, AUD and NEPAD. We'll be discussing STISA 2034 and also open research in Africa. So if we align our policies in shared infrastructure, open up high-value data responsibly, and ground our AI journey in ethics and public trust, East Africa can do more than catch up. We can lead, and we have already seen that with our AI innovators. We can build a digitally unified region where AI works for every citizen in every country. That is the future that this particular region deserves, and together it is a future we can create. Thank you so much.
Science Foundation Africa, I would like to encourage our partners. We'll deep dive in our technical sessions. Kindly let us just use 2-3 minutes, because I'm sure all the technical bit will deep dive in the sessions. Let me call upon the UNESCO Regional Office for East Africa.
Honorable Minister Paula Ngabire, executives from EAC, ISTECO, and IUCA. Honorable Minister and delegates, and I will stop here to try to make it short, but ladies and gentlemen, UNESCO really values the partnership that has made this conference possible, and we value the focus on the topical issue of AI. This is really an opportunity to reflect and drive concrete actions toward unlocking the transformative potential of AI to accelerate regional integration and new pathways for sustainable development across the sub-region. And Honorable Minister, I would really like to commend you for putting AI sovereignty at the heart of this reflection and the heart of this action, with the bold proposals for commitments that you made in your opening remarks. UNESCO's commitment is firmly grounded in its recommendation on the ethics of artificial intelligence, which calls for an AI that is ethical, responsible, and human-centered. This commitment is reinforced by complementary global and regional frameworks, such as the UN Global Digital Compact, the African Union Continental AI Strategy, and we'll hear about that, and the EU AI Act, amongst others. This policy coherence across levels is crucial to ensure that we embrace the vast opportunities presented by AI, but we also measure and address the ethical risk throughout the life cycle of AI adaptation, development, deployment, and use. The UNESCO AI Readiness Assessment Methodology, RAM, is now deployed in about 80 countries, including 28 here in Africa and 6 of the 8 EAC member states. It generates essential analytics to guide strategic policy choices for strengthening governance, enhancing education, research and innovation capacities, integrating social-cultural consideration, and identifying key economic, technical and infrastructural opportunities and gaps. And we have heard about all these challenges in the previous intervention, so I'll not go back to it. But here I would just like to acknowledge and thank the UNESCO lead national RAM experts, several of whom are with us in the conference. Please stand up quickly, and so we can acknowledge you. And they will undergo a training here, training of trainers based on UNESCO's capacity building resource. And I would like to thank GIZ for partnering with us on this. UNESCO remains deeply committed to supporting AI in education, sciences, culture and communication and information, ensuring that teachers, learners, researchers, media professionals, judges, cultural actors and innovators are equipped for an AI-driven future. Through our flagship program, Campus Africa, we're investing in research excellence, doctoral training, and higher technical education while actively contributing to the EAC AI Alliance and its initiatives. And here we would also like to welcome the call for notes that was made earlier today, and we are looking forward to explore how we can join hands with the Alliance to further echo this call. I would also like to announce that in the context of UNESCO's support to stronger data governance, we are organizing regional training in Kenya in June 2026 with Smart Africa, the EAC and IGAD to equip data commissioners, regulators and communication authorities with practical tools for the UNESCO Data Governance Toolkit to assess and align their national frameworks. Finally, and many of you have mentioned the importance of taking into account the rich cultural diversity here in the region and beyond when we think of shaping AI in the region. I'd like to remind you that a bold decision was made at UNESCO's 43rd General Conference by UNESCO member states, the General Conference session that was held in November of last year, to recognize Swahili as an official language of the organization, underscoring the place of small language models in building data and algorithm for an AI that speaks local languages. I think this is a very important opportunity we should seize. AI offers an extraordinary opportunity to reshape knowledge generation, open science with research and innovation for the benefit of Africa. We must be intentional and we must be coordinated about creating an enabling environment, and the rich agenda of this conference, including its side events, speak to these ambitions, and I want to reassure you of UNESCO's full commitment. Asante sana, thank you very much, and wishing you great deliberation.
Thank you very much, Ruiz. Now we'll call upon the GIZ Cluster Coordinator of Rwanda, Norman. I don't want to attempt to pronounce the second name, but please forgive me for that.
Good morning, everybody. Honorable Ministers, I'm trying not to over-engage. We don't have a lot of time. Let me maybe give 3 recommendations for the conversations that we can expect for the next days. The first one is on AI as not a technology fix. And it's maybe something we need to remember. The technology will not solve our problems. It is very much how we use the technology, how we build our institutions, how we build the skills, and work everything around the technology. And again, my recommendation, if you feel like the conversations in the next days go, oh, the AI will solve this, it's probably not true. And we need to have this conversation. What do we need to do that AI helps us to solve the problems? My second recommendation is on collaboration. It's so easy to say, but so difficult to implement. If somebody basically has done it before, if somebody already works on it, we should figure out who is it and how can we collaborate with the institution, the country, or the work that has been done. Again, it's really, really difficult, but I know you know what's happening out there in the East African community, and again, we should build on what we have and rather kind of not do the same thing again. Very easy to say, a lot harder to do. My third recommendation is on the question of how we basically build AI itself. I would call it applications first. There's so much investments in AI happening all over the world, and most likely East Africa will not champion groundbreaking research, will not have the biggest data centers. But what we will see in the region we work on, it's that AI is being used as applications. And I think the competitive advantage of the countries we work in is really on use cases and kind of solving some of the world's pressing problems. So again, if we talk about compute, if we talk about the skills, etc., if we put the use cases you want to build first, all these other things will become. So my third recommendation is let's talk about making AI to use. GIZ is working with the EAC and with all of the member states, and we're here to collaborate. So we're looking forward to the conversations in the next days. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me call upon Barbara Barone from European Union, Dar es Salaam office, United Republic of Tanzania.
Your Excellencies, Ministers, distinguished delegates, thank you for the invitation to be here in Kigali. On behalf of the European Union and the delegation to Tanzania and the EAC, I commend the organization of this fourth EAC Regional STI Conference on this theme of AI. Already, the large and high-level attendance spoke for itself, reflecting the shared and clear understanding of how decisive AI is as a cross-cutting catalyst for EAC development ambition in the decade ahead. Then, the clear, concrete, and ambitious direction set by Honorable Minister Ingabire is very powerful, and I can only reiterate and emphasize the key message. AI requires scale of data, of markets, of talent, of infrastructure, scale. It also requires trust, a human-centric approach that ensures AI serves people and not the other way around. And in all this, the EAC plays a critical role by fostering interoperability, common standards, shared digital ecosystems, and regional shared infrastructure. By acting collectively, the EAC can leverage its strength to build a genuine platform for AI sovereignty on the continent. The EU highly values its digital partnership with Africa, which has already catalyzed significant investments at national and regional levels under the Global Gateway Strategy. The Global Gateway Strategy, you might have heard already, aims at mobilizing up to 300 billion euro through what is called the Team Europe approach, which means bringing together the EU, its member states, their financial institution, private sector. Half of this amount, so 150 billion euros, is for Africa. And the Global Gateway deploys a full-fledged financial toolbox with innovative financial instruments to de-risk investments, attract private sector financing in strategic strategic areas for the country's digital transformation, going from data centers to secure resilience connectivity, data spaces, digital innovation startups, and scale-ups. We have, for instance, a 100 million guarantee with the Finnish financial institution FinFund called Africa Connected that helps companies to upgrade data centers with supercomputers to boost AI uptake in Africa. Another example of this teamwork is with the Africa Union, the Data Governance in Africa initiative, 60 million euro, fostering investments in data infrastructure, promoting harmonized data governance framework, and finally, it has also launched a hackathon to attract startups using AI models in open source. Recently, we launched a call for proposal for private sector, the Global Gateway Early Stage Investment Mechanism, designed to provide financial support to early stage project preparation and pilot actions in the era of AI for green transition. 4 million, and I can tell you already that there has been a good representation from countries in the EAC region. With EAC, the Global Gateway funds have brought the so-called EU EAC DEEP program, a joint initiative targeting the foundation of digital transformation in the region, working on e-commerce, e-payments, e-governance, and cybersecurity. We are partnering with GIZ, SDEV, and Expertise France on this action. Today, AI enters strongly at the core of the EU EAC digital partnership, in line with our own international digital strategy. The EU offer on AI is grounded on 3 core dimensions: legislation, investments, adoption. So on the legislation side, the EU has delivered the EU AI Act, the world's first comprehensive AI legal framework, establishing a risk-based approach that both fosters innovation, but also builds trust in sustainable AI adoption. On the investment and critical infrastructure, Europe offers some of the fastest public supercomputers in the world. It has already set up 12 AI factories in record time, with an investment of 10 billion euro. Additional funding of up to 200 billion is foreseen for further AI infrastructure, gigafactories, under the Invest AI initiative. And this is not just for the EU within its border, is really for building also factories in Africa. Finally, on the adoption, there are several other initiatives, Apply AI, AI in Science, and the EU offers concrete opportunities for structured, interest-driven partnership between entities, researchers across Europe and partner countries, targeting sectors such as health, agriculture, climate, public services. Looking at our future EU-EAC collaboration, I would like to warmly commend the establishment of the EAC AI Alliance, the flagship regional initiative in EAC, led by STECO, EAC, GIZ. We heard a lot about that today. This brings together universities, research institutions, and private sector to strengthen AI skills, research, and innovation across East Africa. As we speak, the AI Alliance has already delivered a very important campaign, the AI for EAC Innovation campaign, with regional hackathon that engage over 3,800 students and innovation across the region to develop AI solution to real-world challenges. And winners will be announced on Wednesday. This is a strong example of regional leadership in action, an initiative with which the EU looks forward to exploring concrete avenues for partnership and scaling. Excellencies, I wish you a fruitful discussion today and in the coming days. The AI revolution will not wait. Scale and strategic partnership are needed. The discussions taking place in rooms like this will be decisive in shaping the future of this region and beyond. Tomorrow, at the first EAC Digital Leader Forum, this is what we can really concretely deliver. Discussing the draft AI strategies for EAC is really a step to pave the way for further opportunity in AI strategic investments. And so I wish you all a fruitful discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara. Now we'll invite the representative of the Commissioner for African Union, Education, Science and Technology, and the representative is Ms. Mahrat Feshone.
Thank you, Madam Facilitator. Your Excellencies, distinguished heads of institutions, and distinguished ladies and gentlemen, allow me also to ride on established protocol in recognizing the eminent personalities here with us. My name is Mahlet Teshome Kabeda. I am the Principal Policy Officer for Science and Technology at the African Union Commission's Department of Education, Science, Technology and Innovation. I am deeply honored to speak on behalf of His Excellency Professor Gaspard Banyan Kimbona, who, despite his keen interest, deeply regrets his inability to join us in person due to urgent overlapping tasks at the Commission. He has instructed me to convey his sincere apologies and his unwavering support to this gathering. First, on behalf of the Commissioner, I will express our profound appreciation to the Republic of Rwanda, through you, Your Excellency, for this exemplary STI leadership on the continent and for graciously hosting this critical conference. Thank you. Rwanda's commitment to innovation serves as a beacon for the region. Allow me to also extend the Commissioner's sincere gratitude to the East African community, the IUCA and ESTECO for their leadership as co-organizers of this important forum. Likewise, we pay tribute to all partner institutions who supported the organization of this meeting. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Professor Banyan Kimbona wishes to place on record his high appreciation for the EAC's pivotal role in championing and advancing the continental agenda on science, technology, and innovation, the STISA 2034. The regional economic community's efforts and coordination with the African Union are essential for our collective progress, and we are excited to see EAC leading at just the first year of implementation of STISA. Dear colleagues, as earlier been stated, indeed, artificial intelligence is no longer a future consideration for Africa. It's a present-day catalyst that can accelerate the East African development strategy if we align with our development priorities, our values, and our people. From our continental perspective, AI must be understood not as a standalone technology, but as a general purpose enabler that cuts across the various sectors. And we've heard numerous speakers speak of them: health, agriculture, climate resilience, public service deliveries. It is worth recalling that the academic community was among the first to articulate both the opportunities and risks of AI within our region. We commend IUCA for convening the 4th annual conference here in Uganda in 2023, which produced critical resolutions on policy, capacity building, and infrastructure that continue to inform our continental approach. This foresight remains relevant as ever as we implement the AU's continental AI strategy adopted in 2024. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, AI gives this region a historic opportunity to leapfrog structural constraints Through data-driven agriculture, predictive health systems, intelligent logistics, and digital public services, AI can improve productivity, reduce costs, and expand access, particularly for rural communities and small enterprises. AI must be anchored in human capital development. Our most strategic investment is not in algorithms, it is in people and the enduring value of human beings. This means integrating AI literacy across education systems. It means strengthening STEM and interdisciplinary research. It means supporting universities and TVET institutions as hubs of innovation and applied AI solutions relevant to local challenges. It's been said before, without skills, AI deepens inequality, but with skills, it becomes a tool of empowerment. Regional integration is therefore essential. East Africa's strength lies in its relative homogeneity, scale, and coordination. By aligning AI policies, data governance frameworks, and innovation systems, our region can attract responsible investment, enable cross-border digital services, build shared infrastructure that no single country can sustain alone. So harmonization, ladies and gentlemen, does not undermine sovereignty. It really amplifies national impact through regional coherence. Moving forward, global partnerships remain key. The AU recently signed a memorandum of understanding with the People's Republic of China, an AI giant, on STI cooperation. This partnership opens new avenues for technology transfer and capacity building. In this context, the Commissioner shares high expectations for the EAC to play a big role in leveraging such partnerships for regional benefit, ensuring that they align with the continental AI strategies call for Africa-centric solutions. As has been unanimously stated by all the eminent speakers before me, we must lead with ethics, trust, and inclusion. AI systems must reflect African values, protect data sovereignty, respect privacy, and avoid reinforcing biases. Responsible AI governance is a competitive advantage in global digital economy, increasingly defined by trust. As outlined in the Continental AI Strategy, we must minimize risks while maximizing benefits of our people. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, AI can be a powerful accelerator for the East African community's development strategy, but only if it is people-centered, people policy-driven, regionally coordinated, and ethically governed. So our task here is clear: to move from ambition to implementation, from pilots to systems, and from technology adoption to transformational impact for our citizens. The Commissioner looks forward to receiving the resolutions of this forum and stands ready to support their implementation through the African Union's ESTI department. Marakoze Chane, asante sana, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Barbara. And now, that is Feshone. And now we call upon the representative of NADO's, Her Excellency Nabodos Bekere, the CEO, Auda NEPAD, and this is Professor Brando Okoro.
Good afternoon. I also stand on existing protocols, and I would like to extend the greetings and apologies from the CEO of AUD and NEPAD, Her Excellency Nados Beckley Thomas. Due to conflict in her schedule, she's unable to be here today. I'll take the next 5 minutes to talk about AI, not to celebrate it, but to merely talk about it. AI is just a mere software, but we need to be reminded that its true beginning starts from our feet in the raw materials that power its hardware. AI's journey starts long before the first prompt. It begins with copper, silicon, rare earth metals, and graphite, which are mined, refined, and turned into semiconductors and data center infrastructure in our continent. Approximately 12% of the materials by weight in AI hardware is copper. Copper is one of the 5 materials that make up to 85% of the materials that go into the AI hardware sector. And so the AI race is not a software race, it's a mining race. The global demand for copper is exploding. Electric vehicles, solar farms, and electrification all compete for the same resource. Africa already supplies about 16% of the copper that feeds the global market space. East Africa, though a small producer today, sits on strategic deposits and processing potentials. Yet hardware alone is not enough. AI also consumes private and public data, and it is shaped by philosophies that embraces good and cruelty, justice and bias, inclusion and exclusion. So its ethical use of AI is therefore central to our theme today. But I want to highlight something even more powerful for East Africa: its languages, English and Kiswahili, 2 widely spoken languages that are not just interfaces, they are superpowers. The quality of prompt engineering in these languages will determine who extracts the best outcome from AI. When our people prompt in their own voices, AI becomes truly inclusive and innovative. East Africa holds a unique geological gift: geothermal energy. The Rift Valley offers abundant 24/7 low-cost renewable power, the perfect backbone for the energy-intensive compute that modern AI demands. Hence, when firms like Microsoft and G42 invest in geothermal power data centers here in our continent and support the development of language models in English and Kiswahili, it's not a mere marginal concern. It's all about who gets to participate fully in the AI revolution. Although this positions East Africa as an emerging AI and data center frontier, turning our geology into sustainable competitive advantage, it, however, calls for immediate action from our researchers, entrepreneurs, and citizens. Your Excellencies, I would like us to ponder for a moment the question of if AI would transform East Africa, indeed our continent Africa, and if it does transform it, whether we will be strategic architects of that transformation or merely consumers of systems designed elsewhere. The copper may come from Central Africa, the semiconductors may today come from Silicon Valley and manufactured in Taiwan, but the energy that comes from Olkaria in Kenya, Africa's Rift Valley region, the language models can be trained in Nairobi and Dar es Salaam. The applications can be built by East African developers for East African challenges. The governance framework can be designed by East African policymakers reflecting our values. And when we do this, when we connect materials, energy, chips, data, language, and ethics into a coherent strategy, we don't just participate in the AI revolution, we shape it. The African Union's STISA 2034, a cross-cutting tool for energy and AI, provides perfect continental policy instrument to guide this journey, ensuring AI drives resilience, inclusivity, and innovation across our continent. I look forward to the discussions which we'll be having over the next 3 days. Let us think boldly, collaborate generously, and act strategically. Thank you.
Thank you very much for those key statements that you've given us, and I think it's very critical that we practically understand integrating AI into our systems. Now, I would love to just make a small pause. I think we deserve some fuel. We kept mentioning AI, the engine, but in reality, we also have another engine in us, and it's demanding fuel. If you understand what I mean, I'm here to tell you that we are going in for a lunch break, and the conference is having a pause. Otherwise, would you just give me 1 minute and really appreciate Dr. Solomon for the time she's taken, as well as Dr. Fortunate, and taking us through this session. I would also love to remind you that if you want to follow the conversations online, there is a hashtag, which is AI for EAC, or you can follow the social media accounts, which is EAC_STI. Photos are over there and videos, and you can engage. We also have an exhibition area that you can easily walk through and understand some of the key interventions that are being done by different countries, and you can always engage for 3 days. Otherwise, thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Thank you for being with us, and everyone, bon appetit, and thank you. I have a small announcement to make in regards to the lunch. We'll be given the coupons as we head out, and most of us are going to the same place, which is a restaurant. As you take your right, you're going to be guided by the protocol team, and it's going to give us the coupons that we are going to need. Thank you.
Protocol team.
Your gateway to East Africa.
Africa doesn't have time. We don't have time to waste. We're going to be 60% of the world's youth by 2050. All of these are alarm bells.
AI will be like your coding partner. AI will be like the next companion for you to work with.
If you want to build a capable workforce, digital literacy is a must.
We have to look at changes around regulation, digital transformation, and one of the most important things is about talent retention. We need to be able to keep those jobs here.
Have faith in yourself, have faith in your ability, and take that first step, because you will not regret it.
We believe young people are not only participants, but they're agents of change.
You're taking some pictures and you're going to be saying before and after.
In Rwanda-Kazakhstan relations.
Your gateway to East Africa. gateway to East Africa.